Hi, my name's Lynn Colson, and this is like my, I don't know, third video ever, and I've been a demonstrator with Stampin UP since 2013. It took the coronavirus to get me to do this because I feel like that we all need to be able to keep in contact with each other. So I thought I would share with you a project that I made today using a new suite that's coming out April 1st, available for customers. It's called the Ornate Garden Suite. And Ornate Style. This is the card we're going to make today. But first, let me show you some of the products that are in the suite, the bundle, or the suite. There are two stamp sets, Ornate Thanks and Ornate Style. This is red rubber. This one is photopolymer. So you can see where you want to put all your phrases. There are so many phrases to be able to create a nice thank you or gratefulness or thanks sentiment. Thanks from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for everything. Thank you. Your kindness is so loved, and so on. So lots of great sentiments here. This stamp set is perfect for coloring. You can see how we can stamp this and then color it in all different kinds of ways, plus some extra little goodies in there. The suite also comes with two die sets. One is called Ornate Layers, and it looks like this. There's one missing here because we're going to use that today. And these are absolutely stunning. The detail on these layers is just amazing. So a tip, when you run these through your die cutting machine, I have a Big Shot. When you run them through, I didn't use a precision cut plate. I have one, I just didn't grab it. But if you run it at a cockeyed at an angle and run it twice, then it usually, all the little details will pop right out. I didn't have any trouble with it if I did it twice at an angle. The other die set that comes with it is called Ornate Borders, and and it has lots of great border items. This one, I mean, the detail on these is just beautiful, and again, you can use it to make just a border image so that you've got some creativity there on the edges of your cardstock or designer series paper. It also comes with some other little flowers that you can put over the top of it. And then there is this lovely, which is going to be kind of hard to see, but we are going to use it. This is a 3D embossing folder, and with these tiny little flowers on there, it looks really cool, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that today. There is some faceted gold gems, always a nice add to your craft room. And then some, let's see, make sure I say this right. I think it's Old Olive and Calypso Coral, is if I had to guess. The last thing I want to show you is the paper. So this is the Ornate Garden Special Designer Series paper. Some of them have gold foiling, some of them do not. So beautiful pieces. Lovely designs on one side and then nice background pieces on the other. I love this one. I can see all kinds of stuff with that. So there's some gold foil. See how that looks with the Old Olive and gold. It's always a nice combo. This one's lovely, perfect for coloring. It's gold foil, which means that you can color with your blends or daubers. Here's a mint macaron with gold. Beautiful. So the thing that's a little bit odd today is that we're not going to use any of this paper today. I chose to start using this suite of products without using any Actually, we're not using any of the stamp sets, and we're not using any of the paper. We're just using the embossing folder and the dies to make this card. Thinking of Easter, I think we're going to be sending a lot of Easter cards this year because we're not going to be able to go out to see our friends and family at Easter time. I expect that we'll still be semi-quarantined. So let me show you how I did this. First off, we're going to take a piece of Whisper White cardstock. I used thick, I think in my display here, and we're going to emboss it, and then we're going to color it with a brayer. So as you know, when you have a 3D embossing folder, one of the things that it is advisable to do is to spritz it with water so that the 3D embossingness will show up a little bit more. I don't have a spritzer that just has water in it. All my spritzers have something else in them, but I do have lots of aqua painters, and so aqua painters work perfectly. And I'm just going to rub water on the cardstock like that, just to kind of add some moisture in there. And then remember, you're going to run that through if you have a Big Shot, you're going to run it through with the 3D embossing plate, top plate only. So just the bottom Big Shot platform, 3D embossing plate. And run that through one time. Out of the way. And there's our lovely embossed piece of Whisper White, which looks great like that, but I decided I wanted to add some color onto it. So I'm going to use a brayer and Seaside Spray ink, and I'm going to add color onto the top of this. Just inking up my brayer. And you'll see it kind of change a little bit. It gives a little bit more depth to those embossed aspects. Some of this is going to be covered up, but not all of it. Add some nice texture. This piece of Whisper White is cut at 5 inches across by 3 3/4 inches high. Okay, beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, there's lots of variation in the ink that I'm using, and that's okay. It gives it interest. Alrighty, put that aside. I'm going to layer that on top of a piece of Seaside Spray, which is cut to 5 3/8 across by 4 1/8 this way. So it's fit just inside a standard card base. Layer that inside there. And then I'm going to add that to my standard card base, which is cut at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. Standard Whisper White card base, sorry. And I decided to go ahead and just leave this on flat. I did not add any dimensionals here. Normally I would, but for this card, I felt like with the frames and stuff, it had enough. Well, helps if I get it straight. There we go. Okay, now for the more complicated part. So on these dies that we're going to use today, the dies are called ornate layers. That means they're layers, not frames, which was something that I really didn't put together until I started using them. So I'm going to show you a trick on how you can make this black frame instead of a black layer. I didn't want a black layer because it would have covered up a lot of my embossing, and I still wanted that to kind of peek through there. So I experimented and I realized that if you cut the frame first with a piece of, so use, sorry, I'm being complicated. Use this size of the rectangle stitched dies, and it's the third one of the big ones. It's the third one from the smallest. So 1, 2, then this one. So I cut a piece of large piece of black cardstock, basic black cardstock, using my stitched rectangles dies, and which gave me a piece of black paper that looked like this. And then this die fits perfectly around that cutout image of the from the rectangle. So save the rectangle, you can use that on another project, and then run it through your Big Shot again like this. Now I found it easiest to line it up like this so I could make sure that my die was sitting properly in there, and I was picking up all of the little details from my outside die. And I ran that through my Big Shot, and this is what came out. So it fits perfectly inside there, which makes a lovely frame instead of a layer. So that's going to go just like that. And I'm going to use liquid glue on there, and I'm just going to dab it around on some of the thicker places on the cardstock. You don't want too much, but you do want enough to hold because it is sitting on top of that 3D embossed piece, and you want to make sure that it's going to stick on there and not kind of move on you. So I'm kind of selecting, I'm also putting it on the ends of the corners and kind of the pieces on the outside. Okay. Put that on top. Again, I did not use any dimensionals on this part. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to use the next size down on the Ornate layer die set, which, where did I put it? I had it right here, and now I've lost it. I hate it when this happens. This happens to me all the time. Oh, there it is. Here it is. We're going to use this one right here. So we're going to take this piece, which is a layer, and that's okay, and we're going to cut out a piece of blue. A piece of Seaside Spray. Sorry, Seaside Spray. And I had that all ready to go. Sorry. Now I've lost it. I've got issues today. I told you I'm not very good at this videotaping thing. It's a new experience for me. Okay, I found my piece. It was stuck underneath my camera stand. I don't know how that happened. So anyway, I've got my piece cut out of Seaside Spray using our layer. And I'm going to use my Stamparatus to stamp it with the sentiment for Easter. And I selected a sentiment from A Wish for Everything. May the beauty of Easter fill your heart with hope. And I think we all need hope at this time of coronavirus and social distancing and being semi-quarantined in our homes. So I thought that would be a great sentiment for today's card. So I'm going to ink this up with Versamark. I've already placed it where I want it to be on my Stamparatus. Make sure that that's there and straight. And stamp. I did already wipe it down with Embossing Buddy, so I don't need to worry about that. Move that out of the way. I'm going to powder this now with black embossing powder. I thought that that would make it really be a little more striking than if I just stamped it with black. And then I'm going to heat emboss it. Okay. Okay, I've got my sentiment all heat embossed with black so it stands out nicely. I'm going to add some dimensionals on the back of here. I always use the edges of my dimensional pads. Pull those off. And place that right in the center. Okay, now the die set actually comes with some flowers that you could use. I thought I was going to use these. I stamped them out, die cut them out in using Whisper White, but I wasn't happy with them, so I went an easier route and I used the small blooms punch that you can get for free now during celebration until March 31st if you place a $100 order, or you can wait. I believe it's going to be in the annual catalog starting in June, and it'll be $16. But there's lots of other small little flowers that you could use too. So I punched out 3 of these because everything is better in 3s. The rule of 3, as you know. And then I used, this is an old tool. You can use lots of different things for this. This is an old pick tool, I think is what it's called. And I like to put it on my, this is like a rubber mat here. And I just kind of spin it around just to give them a little bit of lift. I guess I should put that in the camera frame for you, huh? So I'm just kind of pressing down on that and then kind of spinning it around. It makes that paper fibers break down so that they provide a little lift of the petals. Just like that, gives them a little bit more realistic look, softens them up. And then on my my original card, I think I used glue dots, not dimensionals for this part. So I'm just gonna pick one up, put it here. Just gonna fill in that corner. And the last one I'll put so it goes over the top. Just like that. And then I pulled out, I need to find the name of these. These are sequins, and I think they are from, I can't remember. I should have looked that up beforehand. But they are tiny little black ones that look like flowers in here. It'll be on my blog when I post this. You'll be able to see all the exact items and products and stuff that you can order. Now this suite is available on April 1st to customers, or if you wanted to, you could order it today as part of your starter kit. Today is a great day to join Stampin' Up. It always is, but during celebration it's even better because you get to join Stampin' Up. You pay $99. You get $125 worth of free things, of things of your choice for $125 for that $99. Plus you also get a free stamp set. You get free shipping. You get a paper pumpkin. And you get a lot of business supplies like order forms and things like that. So it then, because it's celebration, you get a little mini cutter that looks like this. It's a little mini paper color guillotine paper cutter, which is just adorable, great for card fronts, things like that. Guillotines are nice, they make a nice cut. And then you also get a set of 6x6 designer series paper samples. So all the samples of paper that are in the January through June mini catalog, you get a sample of each of those. So 48 sheets, 6x6, perfectly awesome. So again, you can order this suite of products or parts of the suite of products in your starter kit if you choose to. So let me show you how I'm going to put these little sequins on. You can do it with glue. I have found that the thing I like to do is to take a glue dot and roll it, and then place it on my sequin, and then press the sequin down. So you want to roll it because it's too big. It's bigger than the actual sequin is right now. So that's why you need to roll it to make it a little bit smaller. It also kind of helps it stand up a little bit. Normally, I would tell you never touch your glue dots because they don't like to be touched. They lose their stickiness, but in this case, I'm breaking my own rule. And there you go. There's our card today. And if I can find it, I'll show you our original. Oops. I can't find it. My desk is a mess. So anyway, here's your card today. I hope you like it. I hope it does fill you with some measure of hope during this Easter season, and that you will consider, one, joining Stampin' Up, because not only do you get all those great things in your starter kit, you also get 20% off of everything that you order after that, which who doesn't love a 20% discount? I do. That's why I joined. And you also get to be part of a great community of Stampin' Up demonstrators and stampers. And trust me, you do not have to be able to do videos or have a blog or anything to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you just like making cards and like sending cards to your friends and family because it's a way to reach out and tell someone that you're thinking of them, then that's all you need to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator. It doesn't matter if you copy everything off of the internet or Pinterest or blogs. It doesn't matter if you create all your own stuff because you're awesome and you can do that. I certainly couldn't do that at the beginning. I copied a lot. It's really just about being able to make things like this and be able to send them to someone that you care about. So that's what I want you to know about joining Stampin' Up. You also get a really big community of people. So think about that. Otherwise, this suite will be available. You can buy either the stamp set and die bundles, or you can buy the entire thing. All that information will be on my blog, averysowlery.com. And you'll be able to order that on April 1st, which is not that far away. You know, today is the middle of March, so not that far. All right. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me today. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you. Bye.